Lesson on Android Backup Framework, Key Value Backup, and Auto Backup. Android provides two ways for apps to backup their data to the cloud: Auto Backup for apps, and Key Value Backup. Auto Backup preserves app data by uploading it to the user's Google Drive account. The Key Value Backup preserves app data by uploading it to the Android Backup Service. The Backup Manager service is an Android system service, which arranges and initiates backup and restore operations. The service is accessible through the Backup Manager API. During a backup operation, the service queries your app for backup data, then hands it to the backup transport, which then archives the data. During a restore operation, the Backup Manager service retrieves the backup data from the backup transport and restores the data to the device. Backup transports are Android components that are responsible for storing and retrieving backups. The available backup transports may differ from device to device, but most Google Play-enabled devices ship with the following transports. Google Transport, default. This transport stores auto backup data in a private folder in the user's Google Drive account. Key Value Backup data is stored in the Android Backup Service. Local Transport stores backup data locally on the device. This transport is typically used for development debugging purposes and is not useful in the real world. Auto Backup for apps. Auto Backup preserves app data by uploading it to the user's Google Drive account, where it is protected by the user's Google account credentials. Files that are backed up. Auto Backup includes files in most of the directories that are assigned to your app by the system. Shared preferences files. Files in the directory returned by getFilesDir. Files in the directory returned by getDatabasepth, which also includes files created with the Sklitio Helper class. Files in directories created with getDir. Files on external storage in the directory returned by getExternalFilesDir, string. Auto Backup excludes files in directories returned by getCodeCodedir, getCodeCodedir, or getNoBackupFilesDir. Enabling and disabling Auto Backup. The Android Allow Backup attribute, which enables or disables backup, defaults to true if omitted. Below is example. Including and excluding files. By default, the system backs up almost all app data. Custom XML rules to control what gets backed up. Step 1, in Android manifest.xml, add the Android Full Backup Content attribute to the application element. This attribute points to an XML file that contains backup rules. For example, Step 2, create an XML file called mybackuprules.xml in the residential XML directory. Inside the file, add rules with the include and exclude elements. The following sample backs up all shared preferences except device.xml, below is example. Key Value Backup. To backup application data, backup agent need to implement. Your backup agent is called by the Backup Manager both during backup and restore. To implement a backup agent, you must first declare your backup agent in your manifest file with the Android Backup Agent attribute. Second, register your application with Android Backup Service. Third, define a backup agent by either extending backup agent or extending backup agent helper. Declaring the backup agent in your manifest, example is given below. Registering for Android Backup Service. To perform backup using Android Backup Service, application must be registered with the service to receive a backup service key, then declare the backup service key in your Android manifest. Example is given below. Extending the backup agent. Create a backup agent by extending backup agent, and implement the following callback methods. On backup. The backup manager calls this method after you request a backup. In this method, you read your application data from the device and pass the data you want to backup to the backup manager. On restore, the backup manager calls this method during a restore operation. When it calls this method, the backup manager delivers your backup data, which you then restore to the device.